Hey Jen, why don't you share with everyone how much you love to run?
Don't do it. Don't ever do it. Don't want to do it. Not interested.
You're not a runner.
Not a runner.
You
Never
know,
have been.
I really enjoy sports and exercising, but I'm not like a runner for the sake of running. I think the most I've ever run in a row was 3 miles. And so the two of us, we cannot fathom people who run marathons. We have talked about this before. All power to you, mad respect, because the thought of doing that is
Painful.
awful. But we early in the pandemic talked about how this pandemic, we quickly realized after a couple of weeks, this isn't not a sprint to the finish line. This wasn't going to be 2 weeks of quarantining and we were done. It wasn't going to be, we were going to be back in the sanctuary worshiping together by Easter. And I think it was May 2020 that we started digging in deep with a lot of mental health professionals to teach us during our adult education sessions about how we can cope with the fact that this was becoming a marathon, not a sprint. And it really required us to have different skills to take care of ourselves and to realize we couldn't go full steam ahead, but we had to make sure that we were taking care of our own mental health. This isn't a marathon anymore. This is an ultra marathon. Did you know there are people who do ultra marathons? If you didn't know that, you probably did, but if not, look it up. There are people who run races that are 50, even 100 miles.
The craziest of the crazy.
And I just, 100 miles, the human body is not built for that. You know,
Apparently
the
some of them are.
original runner of the marathon died after
Yeah.
26.3 miles.
Sad.
50 to 100? I just can't even imagine that. But we are in an ultra marathon, whether we like it or not. And this is not just requiring new skills that were required of us with the marathon, but now this fact that we are in a multi-year process is requiring us to be able to really dig deep. We're going through this period known as the Great not the Great Recession, but the Great Resignation. A lot of people are feeling like they can't even continue in their jobs or having to quit. What advice do you have for us, Jen, going into an ultra marathon?
Well, seeing as how I've never run one and will never run one, I just think back to when we first entered the pandemic. I think there was a period after the initial panic and fear. There was a period where we were all really gentle with ourselves and with each other. We gave ourselves a lot of grace. We gave ourselves a lot of space to let our expectations go, to live each day as it comes, to nourish our bodies, to rest when we needed to, and to just really kind of exist in this strange space and not try and become something that we felt like we should be or accomplish anything that we felt like we should be doing because we had all this quote unquote extra time. And I think now that we've moved past that phase and so many months later, there is this pressure, I think, to feel like we should be back on track by now. We should start moving back into the world and we should be tackling projects and getting back to life as usual because, the vaccine has been available. We have all of these new social policies and masking. We're all used to it. So we really need to move forward. And I think my only advice is that we really need to remember that we still are in a global pandemic. Life isn't the way that it used to be pre-pandemic. And we need to continue to be gentle with ourselves, to nourish our bodies, to nourish our spirits, to celebrate the gift of community like this one, and to really take this time to deepen our faith, to deepen and strengthen our spiritual practices, and to just take that pressure off of ourselves to live a certain way or to exist in the world a certain way right now, because things are just not the way we remember them. And who knows when they will return to that, or if they ever will return to that.
Or if they should.
But I think the healthiest thing we can do right now is surround ourselves with our loved ones as much as possible, check in with each other, have conversations if we're not doing okay, and not be afraid to feel like, I can't still feel anxiety or fear this long into the pandemic because everyone else seems to be like accepting and moving on. But I think that's real, that a lot of us are still fluctuating between a place of acceptance of where we are and also having a hard time adjusting to all of the changes that we've experienced in the last year and a half.
Yeah, we've been talking about this the whole time, that we're creating a better normal and not returning to the old normal.
Right.
We're still in the process of that. And that's why we think it's important that we are still caring for ourselves and our community. So we want you to know, as always, we are always here for you, anything that you need. We are bringing back one of our mental health professionals this Sunday for our adult education session, either in person in the Louise Roberts room or online on Zoom, to talk to us about this idea that we're still in this long marathon, this ultra marathon, and we're not sprinting still. And also, for anyone who's in the mental health field, or if you yourself struggle with mental health challenges especially, we're putting together a booklet to help train people on how to greet or usher or be Sunday school teachers and to relate to people with mental health challenges. So we would love your viewpoints. There's a little blurb in this email. Let us know, and we would love to make you part of that conversation.
Yeah.
So we will see you all soon.
See you later.